Hello and welcome to this edition of Diaspora Central. I am Gil Ingles, and with me today in the studio I have a lady that needs no introduction to anyone who knows the craft and the art of penmanship, or penwomanship in this case. We are talking about Tyra McKinzie, a seriously award-winning and award-nominated writer, producer, bass player, and now cinematographer. Tyra McKinzie, welcome to Diaspora Central.
Hey, Gil. Thanks for having me, man. So glad to be here.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to connect with good friends. And hey, Miss Stand Up. Indeed. And I should say it exactly this way. Diaspora Stand Up.
Yes.
Because the producer and director and writer of the song, of the campaign song that has helped to put President Biden in the White House and the first black woman as vice president,
Woo, 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 woo.
Miss Kamala Harris.
Yes, Kamala.
In the White House.
Yes.
Miss Tyra McKinzie. The pen of Stand Up is in the building.
Oh God. In the Zoom building.
This is look, it's a lot of responsibility though. Congratulations, I should start by saying that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's definitely an honor to be asked to be a part of that campaign and write that song. So
definitely.
Shout out to Blaze Tangelo. And Kobe Maxwell for helping me get involved with that.
Kobe Maxwell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you a secret later during the show. I'm not gonna spoil it to you right now.
Okay. Don't spoil it.
I'm not spoiling it. Maybe I won't tell. I just say I never spoil it. But let's go. Good stuff. All good stuff. Tyra, let's go ahead and start. Let me give you a little bit of background on Diaspora Central. Diaspora Central is basically a platform that has been put in place to allow individuals such as yourself that play roles, important roles, big roles, small roles, any necessary roles in the diaspora community, and sometimes don't get the proper recognition or don't get a chance to tell their story. In other words, their stories are always told by someone else. In Diaspora Central, you actually get to tell this story on your own words. So that way, if later on anyone is to challenge, they will have to challenge your own words. Can we get started?
Yes, let's get started.
Yeah. All right, let's get started by actually trying to figure out who is Tyra McKinzie. Where was Tyra McKinzie born? And because I want to go to the beginning. Right? I want to go to the beginning. Who's the mom, who's the dad, who are the siblings, right?
Yeah.
How did Tyra McKinzie become who she is? Yeah.
Well, I was born in Tacoma Park, Maryland, a very long time ago. we won't give dates.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
But I am the middle child. I am the middle child to Kenneth Ray McKenzie and Selma Lee Inez McKenzie Chandler Roy.
Wow, a lot of names.
Yeah.
How many siblings?
So, I have actually 2 siblings from my mom's previous marriage, and then my dad remarried, and I have 2 brothers.
Okay.
So so 5 of us total. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
go ahead.
And like I said, I'm the middle child, and that's my family background.
Now the interest for music. Anyone in the family already part of the music industry? How did you get interested in music?
Well, I would have to say that music definitely came from my dad's side of the family. I have uncles and cousins that sing, and my dad. I think my dad even plays the guitar a little bit.
Oh.
But definitely from that side of the family for sure. Like all of my aunts, when they get together, it's just amazing to hear the harmonies and stuff. It's just like, oh, that's where I got that from. Yeah, even though I didn't grow up with my dad for sure, definitely got that part of me.
Well, you got the gene.
Yes, for
Yeah,
sure.
all the genes, I should say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
My younger brother actually went to Berkeley, so he's a musician as
Oh,
well.
oh wow. So yeah,
Up in Boston. Yeah.
so dad definitely had very strong genes.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
no
absolutely.
slacks at
Absolutely.
all.
The musical talent definitely runs deep in my family when it
Yeah,
comes to, singing and instruments for sure. Yeah,
yeah,
for
yeah. No,
sure.
no, definitely. I
Hmm.
think you even missed my joke. I said no slacks at all. Dad had real
No.
strong genes, no slacks. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So now your dad and your mom, are they both also based in Washington D.C.?
Actually, my mom lives in Clinton, Maryland,
Okay.
and my dad, my biological father, he lives down in Fayetteville, North Carolina. He was in the
Okay.
military,
Oh,
so
your
he was.
father. Okay,
Yeah.
so you are a so your
No,
father was
actually,
so your father is a veteran then.
yeah, he's a
Okay.
veteran,
Hmm.
but I never, I didn't grow up with my dad,
Right.
so
Yeah.
um, but yeah, he's a veteran, and actually, I think my older brother
Hmm.
of my brothers, I think he actually was in the military, but he's like a military contractor or something now. But
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
so.
So you come from a military family in a
Oh
way.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, my stepdad, who I consider my father, he
Hmm.
actually
Gotcha.
was military as well. He passed away in August of 2019.
Okay.
So, but he was
Our
a
condolences.
national. Thank you. He
Yeah.
was a National Guard.
Hmm.
So
Okay. So
yeah, but he
military
was a
also.
big influence, and he also was into music. I mean, he
Right.
was actually the one that got me started with piano lessons.
Got you. Yeah.
So
And what
yeah.
was his name?
His name was Seymour Roy. That's how my mom got her
Got you.
final last name. Yeah,
Yeah.
Seymour. Yeah, but he
Nice.
was an amazing, amazing guy. Like
Hmm.
I miss him every day. Every
Yeah.
day, yeah, he was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
So
it's a process, but there's always that great benefit of having a chance to have learned from someone as
yes,
influential as he was to you, right?
exactly.
Indeed.
Yes, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So stepdad takes you to piano lessons, and
Yes, when I was
how
14.
you're 14 years old. So
Yeah.
between the time in which you are much younger and
Hmm.
once you become 14, that is not yet music is not yet part of your
Oh no, I can't say that
tendencies.
at all.
No.
No, it was always there. I
Uh-huh.
mean, like so when we were younger, like because my biological father's siblings, like
Yeah.
his twin, he has a twin sister.
Okay.
She lived with our grandmother, and they had a house up in Northwest, and they had a piano.
Okay.
And every time I would go over there, all the other cousins would be outside playing, and I was on that piano. And then they bought this organ. This is when those organs with the beats and stuff started. They first started making those. You could
Oh,
press a button and a little beat would come
yeah,
on.
the
And so, I was
with the
fascinated. So I would,
sequencer.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I would get on that organ and I would be playing around with that.
Hmm.
And so I would say when I was about 10 years old,
Okay.
I started listening to songs, and then I was just like learning how to play it. Like I would
Yeah.
hear a song and I would just like start picking up the melodies.
Hmm.
And probably by the time I was between 10 and 11, I was actually like playing songs.
Gotcha. Wow.
And that's when my stepfather realized that, well, my dad, that's when
Right.
he realized like, man, this girl, she
Yeah.
can actually,
You had
she can
something.
read. So he took me to piano lessons, and it was hard to learn how to read
Right.
because I already could play by ear.
Right.
So, but I did it.
Yeah.
And a couple of times I got caught because my piano teacher, she knew I wasn't reading. She knew it was a song that I heard before, and she was like, okay, yeah, you're playing by ear. Play the notes that are written on the page. Yeah,
So you were playing by memory, basically.
Yeah, I'm trying to cheat. And she was like, no, not in here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So at that point, you're 10 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and at that point, it's just playing. Penmanship is not even part of your game. Now, any writers in the family?
I'm not sure. I do have actually my younger cousin. She writes now. Her name is Rolita White, and she actually was in the R&B group with Tweet.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, she writes.
Yeah.
But I think for me, like when I was younger, I used to write like poetry and stuff like that. But I never really thought that I would be actually writing songs because I thought I was going to be a singer. You know,
there you go.
It's like, oh, I'm going to be a singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Singing was the thing. Now let's get into schools a little bit. So what elementary school did you go to?
I went to Smothers Elementary School, and then when we were about, say I was about 11,
okay,
we went and stayed with my grandmother, and then when I was, I think 12, we went back and we were only with my grandmother for about a year, I would say.
Okay.
But then we went back and lived with my mom and my stepdad.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
so there was elementary school, middle school. Where did you go?
Middle school, I went to Fletcher Johnson, and it was actually a gifted and talented school.
Okay.
And what that meant was academically, you
right.
were, you know, and so I was in the gifted and talented program there.
Yeah. So it wasn't even related to arts or anything. It was just
it was just strictly academics.
Got you. Yeah. Okay. And then high school.
High school, I went to H.D. Woodson, and that's when I really, because of the piano lessons that I had, by the time I was in the 10th grade, I was, you know, reading pretty well. So music and choir, that's all I wanted to do. I actually had gotten asked to be on the track team because I was fast. I could run, you know, really fast, but I was just so interested in music and actually almost didn't graduate from high school because I was always in the music room. All the time. My history teacher told me, he said that if you pass this history exam, I'll let you graduate. I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, I can't, you know. Yeah, but yes. Yeah. So I was always in the music room. So Now, any teachers or any professors that were kind of influential to you that played an influence in you? I would actually say Mr. Francis and Mr. Brown, both of my music teachers, who actually, I think Mr. Francis taught at Duke Ellington for a while. Okay. When he was younger, which is the school that my older sister went to.
Oh,
she went there for she went there for vocal classical music.
Yeah, that's big muscle right there.
Yeah. And it was amazing. Actually, I'm gonna tell you. So the funny thing is with my sister, like she likes to play the drums, and so I always thought that she would, you know, go into, you know, maybe become a drummer, but she got into this summer youth program. And all of her friends were going to Duke Ellington. So she went up and she auditioned and she got in. Right. So when I went to her senior recital to hear her singing that classical music, it made me cry. I'm not going to lie, because I was like, whoa. Like, I mean, she sounded amazing. Like for real. Like it was, it was awesome. Yeah. So,
is she still singing today?
She sings a little bit, but no, I think they all laugh at me because they're like, is there anything that you can't do? It's like, no, there are a lot of things I can't do, but I never want to be a what do you call it? A jack of all trades, but a master of none. So it's just like I obsess about, you know, trying to, whatever it is that I'm interested in, I try to learn how to do it to the best of my ability. So
no, definitely, because that's actually what, you know, I remember meeting you, and you at the time were playing bass. And I mean, impressive to me, because I would say you were actually the first the first female American bass player that I met personally. I mean, I knew of some, but you were the first one that I've actually met, and I was always impressed by that, because it's like, I mean, I remember at the time it was like, I mean, the bass was kind of like almost your height. I really used to find it real funny, like you carrying that bass from your car to the studio, and I'm looking and I'm like, yo, this bass is like about her size. But you know what, listen, this show is also about music, so let's go into a very quick break, and I gotta show probably something that would come either from the camp of Exposure Entertainment, or maybe we should probably start with the video that you just did for the Biden campaign, for the Democratic campaign in this previous election, which is Stand Up. So give us a little bit of background on the music, and then let's go ahead and pass that video.
Okay. Well, like I was saying earlier, my friend Blaze Tangelo gave me a call, and he's over in Belgium now. Shout out to Blaze.
Yo, Blaze.
So he called me and said, Second, I need you to write a song for me. We have an opportunity to submit a song to the Biden campaign. And at that time, honestly, I was kind of like songwriting is something that I've always loved, but I've been doing it for so long. So I was feeling a little bit discouraged.
Right.
So I kind of put songwriting to the side.
Right.
So, but when he asked me to do it, I said, okay, I'll take a stab at it. So he sent me some tracks and I was listening to them. Yeah. And I came across this one particular track and I was just like, man, I like this one. Mm-hmm. So I started writing the song on that Sunday. Yeah. And I was finished writing it the next day. So when I got done writing it, I recorded it and sent it to him. And I was like, this is what I have. Okay. And he was just like, okay. So we were trying to figure out like who we wanted to record it. And there's a friend of mine, his name is Rachel Lamar, who was he was on season 14 of American Idol. Mm-hmm. I knew that from what I was hearing, even though when I recorded it, I was actually kind of channeling Tina Turner and John Legend, because that's who I was like kind of hearing, sing the song or whatever. But once it was done, I hit Rachel up and said, hey, can you please, record the song? And he was honored to do it. And it was just amazing to work with him. Yeah. I mean, just big talent in this little body.
Right.
So he killed it.
Killed it. Oh no, he definitely nailed that song. And it's definitely a hit, a very, 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 very impact. I mean, serious impact. That song was like, I mean, I remember getting that song and I had to listen to it 5 times before I made my first phone call, because I was like, yo, I either I don't believe what I'm listening to or I'm just missing listening to stuff like that for a long time. But anyway, so let's go into Stand Up so that our listeners can also enjoy and experience what we have actually experienced. So this is Stand Up, written by Tyra McKinzie and sang by
Rachel Lamar.
Rachel Lamar, and right here on Diaspora Central with Gil Ingles. We'll be right back.
We need to stand up for love, for peace, stand up for human rights and equality. We need someone who can save the day. We need a hero before it's too late. We don't need good intentions, we need results. No more recycled speeches, we heard them all. We're sick of lies and greed and hypocrisy. We need compassion, respect, integrity.
And we are back. If you have just joined us, you are now tuned into Diaspora Central with Gil Ingles and my guest today, Tyra McKinzie, the pen master. Tyra McKinzie. Whoo, Stand Up. Gracious. Very strong imagery in that video.
Yes. Yeah. We had a lot of people who wanted to be involved. Mm-hmm. I actually shot some of the video footage with some of my friends that we do a boot camp in the morning, and they were like, we want to be a part of it. So I got them to be a part. Yeah. I actually had Rachel was friends with an actor. What is his name? T.C. Carson. He was on the show with Queen Latifah, Living Single, and so he took part in it. I had a friend of mine who's a medical eye surgeon. Her name Keisha Williams. She took part in it. And then I had another young guy to shoot a large part of the video as well. His name is Chris Harris, amazing up and coming film videographer and cinematographer, as well as my homegirl Sean Cosby, her dance troupe, Center Stage, Dance Academy, theater. I mean, they do it all really. They sing, they dance, they act, and so they got involved and did a whole video as well. So everybody wanted to get involved with the song to just really help push the message of what the song was trying to convey. So
no, definitely a very impacting. I mean, very well driven, purposeful. And one of the greatest things is that now that I hear you talking, it was really one of those great community efforts in which several members of the community have gotten together. So can we now consider you a community leader?
Well, I would like to say that why I'm not physically involved in community service, I certainly consider myself someone who, when it comes from a musician standpoint, the songs that I write are definitely a call to action. I would say, especially this particular song is a call to action to get people to get out and, you know, stand up for human rights and things for something. So yes, in that aspect, I would say, like, I mean, yes, I've done volunteer work, but obviously with the pandemic, all of that kind of thing has been a little bit difficult to do. But certainly, I'm definitely aware and, you know, want to just bring to people's minds to really focus and be conscious of how we treat each other. You know.
Yeah, no, you are definitely in my book considered a community activist. And I mean, and I can attest to a lot of that. And I'll take this opportunity to actually thank you for giving Houston the opportunity of also being part of that video.
Yes, I was going to say I left out. I apologize. Sorry, Dapper.
Olatin Basun did do his portion on that also. And and
the
Nayara,
young lady that was Nayara,
her name is Nayara.
Oh my gosh, she was amazing. When I saw her, the fist up at the end, for me, that was when I saw it, I knew that I wanted to see that imagery, and that imagery just, like, to me was just like I got chills, like when you would think that somebody else did the video, but you know, it was just man,
like I told you, I'm not gonna spoil nothing today. I'm not even, because this is not about me, it's about you. I'm not spoiling nothing.
No, man, you guys, I mean, it brought so much to the video. It brought so much to the video. It was just amazing.
No, it was really great. It was great for us, and I'll tell you one other thing. There was Nayara's debut.
Nayara. I keep saying her name wrong.
Nayara. In the music industry, that was her debut. That was her first music video.
Wow.
So you did kick off someone's career. Okay?
Oh,
indeed. And at that, you did kick off a young lady's career, right?
Awesome.
Because it's all about representation, and we know that that's something that matters a lot to us, especially individuals like you and I from our generation, because that's some of the things that we fought most of our lives to actually see representation, right? So from the perspective of community activism and things of that sort, what would we say that Second Child or Tyra McKinzie's goals are?
Okay, well, my goals would be to definitely, as far as, again, to continue writing songs that would cause people to just think about how we treat each other, to love and be kind and things like that. Also, to move on to, like, the filmmaking part of it, I would love to make more documentaries to bring more attention to the good stuff that's happening in the world too, because you know, we hear so much bad stuff, but there are a lot of people doing a lot of amazing things in our society, and so I would like to be, you know, kind of like galvanize that,
bring
that to the forefront, you know, the positivity,
spotlight that,
you know, just like we need more. We need to see more of that, especially dealing with the year that we've had. We need to see more. You know, we need to see more happy, joy, love, togetherness, unity, and just, you know, letting people be who they are. You know? You know?
And that's why we're here for, because I mean, I'll be very honest with you. That's what we love to do. That's why we love you, because you have that energy, you have that drive, and you have always been that way. And it's one amazing thing. Now, you mentioned filmmaking, and you know that I'm one of those guys that is very observant. So I did notice that that's also something that, I guess in your case, it comes from, I guess already from family. There was a little bit of family influence in there, because I've seen you shown cameras that actually belong to someone very important to you. So give us a little bit of that story.
Yes. So my stepdad, he loved photography. And so when I was a little kid, like when we would go on trips and stuff, he would take pictures of us all the time. He has all these pictures, but he had these cameras, and I was fascinated with them, but he would never let me use his cameras, but he would get me like these little, you know,
toy
ones that he had little toy cameras and stuff. But how I ended up actually learning how to do photography was when I started film school. all these years later, you know.
Right.
Like, but he had like the Pentax, he had the,
Yeah.
I mean, all the nice lenses and
Yeah.
nice bag and everything. And so
He had the
when
real
passed,
stuff.
yeah, he had the real stuff. Yeah. And so when he passed, I actually, my mom gave me his camera equipment.
Yeah.
I haven't, like, I was trying to learn how to use it, but with those cameras, you have, it's like 35 millimeters. So
Right.
it's really expensive to, you know, to use that equipment. So for me, it's just, now it's just a keepsake, you know.
Definitely.
I won't ever sell it to anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was actually how I became really interested in photography, but music was always at the forefront. So I never really focused on that part of my interest. And like I said, once I started film school, we weren't always making movies.
Right.
As a matter of fact, in film school, you really don't learn how to make a movie other than the theory part of it, because you're so busy trying to do your schoolwork and all that stuff.
Right.
But what I did have time to do on my own was take my camera and go out and practice taking shots. And I would also go on YouTube and watch videos and stuff like that. So it just helped me, and I just kept practicing and practicing and practicing. So yeah. And
that resulted in something. I mean, if we would call stand up your graduation project or your final project, I believe you definitely aced that one with the 100. Yeah.
Thank you.
Indeed. Now let's go into the other things that you definitely do, and that's the one thing that very few people know about you. You actually are an award-winning writer/producer, because you have participated in albums that have actually been awarded. They have charted, not only here in the States, but definitely overseas. And very few people know about that. Okay. Now, I know that you have written for both Paul G and Irina.
Irina, yes.
Right. Yeah.
Correct.
Irina's first album actually charted number 4 in the African charts in Europe, the year when it was released.
Yeah, okay.
Paul G went all the way to the chorus, so you know that, right?
Yeah. Paul G.
So,
my brother.
Yeah, talk to us a little bit about your experience and your connection back to the continent. How did that start? What exactly drives you through that process? What was your mindset as you were even entering it?
Well, you mean working with Paul G and
well, yeah. I mean, just basically connecting back to Africa, even through them, because I know that to you that connection came through music, right? Through art. Yeah. So kind of let's give us the stories. We like stories here. We like all the dirt, even gossip too.
Well,
no, I'm kidding. No
I
gossip,
remember,
just real stories.
I don't know. I'm not a gossiper. Anyway, no, but like with Paul and Irina, I think you arranged the initial connection with us.
Yeah.
But when they came in, first of all, the energy from both of them was just amazing, and we just clicked, you know. So we clicked, and I had written a song that I actually did win an ASCAP songwriting award for. It was a song called All About You.
Yeah.
There's a song called All About You. And Paul G heard it, and he was like, Tyra, come on, let me record that song. So he came in and put his, did his thing with it. And I had Mo Diggs, to redo the track, Mo Digga. So, and then Irina wanted to do a song with me. And I actually had done this song called He Knows. And it was kind of like a low key, ain't no mountain high enough type of, and I think you picked that up. So, I don't think anybody else picked that up. Yeah. But I knew that I wanted, the bass line from that. And so, and I actually had her sing it in the song, but I'm working with, artists from Angola. And I actually had a chance to work with Bruna a little bit too, but I don't think anything ever materialized with that. I think she actually kind of went into a different direction or whatever, but
I think
I mean, a lot of amazing talent. Though.
Yeah. On Bruno's case, I think that thing just went. I can't speak. I'd rather not speak on it, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just because I don't understand it, so I can't speak on it. And there were a lot of things happening around that time, and and I know that a lot of emotional decisions were being done. So
Yeah.
I won't speak on that, but on
Yeah.
that, you definitely did present good work to that, and in all honesty, I think that probably there would have been an opportunity for a Grammy right there,
Yeah.
because
Wow. Thank you.
no, there was definitely that in there, and yeah, all about you is definitely one of those songs that people even today wonder if Paul actually sang that song. It's like
Really?
yeah, they like, yo, dude, this is it's crazy because when the album dropped, one of the biggest critics of Angolan music, especially urban music, which is Miguel Neto, he called me right away. He said, dude, I am telling you right now that there is no way that this song it's Paul G. I said, dude, that is Paul G.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah, it was like, and eventually when he visited, I actually made him listen to the multi-track, and that's when he was like, wow. Because a lot of times it's like, these guys, they grow up with these individuals right in their household, but they still don't realize the amount of talent that they have, right? That they just play. Now let's go. Let's go. I mean, I know that, but by that point you already sort of like introduced to Africans. You're already dealing with people like Blaze, and
Yes.
stuff like that. So you kind of have that influence. But now, from the perspective of an African American, going back or reaching back out to home, how did you feel? How does it feel? What can be done to probably improve that? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, I know that there's always that issue of you hear a lot of the African, well, I would say the American kids who have African parents. You always hear them say that their parents want them to hold on to their African culture.
Right.
But being in this country, it's a lot of influence.
Right.
It's a lot of outside influence and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So for me, I personally have never been to Africa.
Okay.
There's the one place that I would love to go,
Oh,
but I would definitely say that bringing the two cultures culturally,
Yeah.
bringing things together culturally, rather, I think it's change is improving.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a long way to go, but
Right.
but look at movies now that you see,
Yeah.
and I'll even go as far as to say, like, Coming to America.
Right.
They're starting to really, intertwine the African dancing,
Yeah.
more the African dancing, the African music, as well as there was a movie that I watched over the Christmas season. It was called, oh my gosh, it was the one with Felicia Rashad and Forrest Whitaker.
Okay.
And I can't think of the name of the movie right now. I know I'm drawing a blank on it, but David Talbot was the director of this movie. But it was a really, really great movie. And then that movie, they really pushed, the African culture. You saw the little girls dancing, and, and so I love that.
Right.
And I actually would love to, learn how to dance like that. But
Yeah.
anyway, but I think, but it is hard. Like I said, when you grow up in this country, but you have African parents, and the culture is different.
Right.
It's
Yeah. No, definitely. And I'll tell you right now, I'm one of those individuals, I guess, that I would say consider myself blessed enough to have been born in Africa and raised here in the United States, and have the opportunity to interact with individuals such as yourself, who actually, I consider you guys the guys who actually held me down into that industry, right? Because I remember, shout out to Reginald Rainey, when I met Reggie.
My man.
Right? Yeah, when I met Reggie, we were just two guys trying to have like something to do in the music industry, and we're looking at it now like 25 going into 30 years later, and all the people that we have actually gotten a chance to sit down with. It's like, it's so funny and crazy. I was looking at some footage not that long ago, and I was like, I have footage of actually the late Chris Lighty, Mark Pitts, and I mean some serious major, what I would consider the major and most influential A&Rs in that day and age, all in the same room with us at one point. And to me, that's like entirely crazy. And I say thank you to individuals like you, Tyra, because without you guys really being there to be that bad that sustained us when we had to rest, when we had to put in work. Without you guys being those individuals, I don't think we would have been able to be in that position to be able to do that. So this is my thank you to you personally. Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate that, but for me, like Reginald Rainey, oh my God, I'm not going to get emotional, but that guy literally saved my life, like for real. Like him, he's one of those people that he saw talent in me that I didn't even believe that I had.
Indeed.
I mean, giving me a shot to work with one of his babies, like taking, you know, pretty much put me in charge of one of his groups. And that really helped me creatively, like to hone my skills as a songwriter, like, you know, just being able to be as creative and crazy as I wanted, you know, or you know, but yeah, it was amazing, you know, just opening up his home like that, to just have us being there all hours of the night.
Indeed.
Just, you know, creating music and not having to pay a dime. Like who does that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be eternally grateful for, you know, for him.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely that is definitely him. That is definitely him. Yeah, that is definitely him. I think all of us have plenty of thanks, and I cannot continue this interview without saying thank you to someone else who actually introduced me to you initially. Aretha Calloway.
Oh yes, Aretha. And I just saw her over the weekend.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna give you a story because this story is important. Okay. I always say that Aretha is my older sister, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm this young kid. I got done with my associate's degree. I'm pursuing my bachelor's degree, but of course I'm already working full time. And Aretha was my first supervisor. Okay. Aretha was she was my lead at the time. She wasn't even my supervisor. She was my lead at the time. She was my team lead. And as she starts to see me coming into that big, long wall that, you know, we all come into, in which you kind of look at that wall and you be like, dude, I'm not even going to waste my time trying to climb this daggone thing. It ain't going to happen, you know. Let me go on back to where I was, because I was chilling. I was sitting just comfortably and doing well enough. I don't need to sit out here and stress myself with this madness. It's not about me. Aretha pulls me out one day and she says, hey, Gil, let's go to lunch. And she takes me to lunch to thank God, TGIF. Yeah, okay. To TGIF. We go to TGIF and we have lunch. And she sits down and she says the following to me. She says, you know what? And she looks me straight in the eye. She says, listen, Gil, I kind of sense that you're going through some stuff right now, and things may look a little bit rough. And at times you may even think that everyone is probably kind of like sort of against you. But I want you to know this. This is for your best interest. Okay, this is for you to push yourself the hardest. Look, Tyra, that talk came, I believe, in one of the most important days of my life. Because as Aretha is having that talk with me, I was getting ready to change careers. Oh, wow. Right? I was getting ready to change careers and go on back and just stay an operator and be good. Because the money wasn't bad as an operator. Right. But it was something that I was just doing, right? Right. So at that point, I'm this I guess at that point I think I was an associate programmer, right? And I was progressing well. It's just that I was looking at that wall and I'm like, this thing is, you know, it's crazy to, you know, and dealing with corporate politics also and all that other stuff. And then from that point on, that basically taught me one thing. I was like, okay, there's one person at least that is paying attention to what my real intention is. So I went on back. Right. Yeah, so that was Friday, and I can tell you how she picked some of those things up. She came up to me, she said, you know what, I noticed that now sometimes on Fridays you just come up like on either jeans or sweatsuits. Remember, this is still a professional environment, okay? Don't lose that, because that's what we like about you. You were coming in suits, dressed up every single day. Don't lose your edge. She said it exactly like that. That Friday I left out of there. I went back to a store and I bought a corporate suit. That day I bought my first corporate suit. Okay, because I used to have suits, but they were just suits. But yeah, those suits that you buy at the store. No, that day I went and I bought myself a corporate suit. I bought myself a corporate shirt that actually had cufflinks and all that. So the following week, on Wednesday, I showed up dressed up like real corporate, dressed up. And for the first time, I bought my first pair of Bostonian shoes, burgundy Bostonian shoes. So that following week, I came in dressed up like a real business guy.
Right.
And interesting enough, we started doing it Wednesdays. Then it became an everyday thing. And before you know, it's like we were changing the culture in that building. And only dawned on me, right, a couple of years later, that what she was really changing was the mindset of all of us young brothers coming into that corporate world, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes it becomes a little bit disheartening because you're dealing with problems that we're not tooled to fix or to even understand. Right. So anyway, that was the Aretha thank you. And Aretha was the person who said, hey, you into music. I have a friend named Tyra. I was like, Tyra. And one day, Tyra shows up in the studio with a bass guitar. So I went back to the office and I was like, I think I met your friend. Yeah.
Yeah, Aretha has known me since I was 19.
Wow.
Yeah, her brother and I, yeah.
Good people.
And probably because why she was so hard on you, because she does have two brothers.
Right.
And so, and she pretty much, raised them.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I think Robert, is Robert even older than Aretha? But she was still like the mom,
Yeah,
she's
definitely she's definitely a nurturing building, and I mean honestly, I call Aretha my older sister because I'm telling you, it was like Aretha became my friend that moment. She became my friend. It's like, I mean, I'll go into her house and stuff like that, and then at one point she moved over to was it 301. Down by 301, because at the time she was still living at the other spot. I mean, definitely, good people. I have the utmost respect for her. Yeah, these are people who shaped me professionally to become who I have become. But that was my spoiler of your show, and I told you I wasn't gonna try to spoil that. So let's go. We gotta get another song in because people are probably tired of listening to something. We gotta get another video. By any video that you may have worked on or any song that you may have worked on, give us one if you have one.
Well, there is actually a gospel song that I wrote called "Search My Heart," and that was with Jocelyn Indigo Saunders. That was a song that young boy, young boy Anderson. He's not a young boy anymore. He's killing. He's doing his thing. I'm so proud of him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So but yeah, that was a fun video. I actually didn't produce that video. That was when I was back in my songwriting days. But the video was actually amazing.
Yeah, you
was like a little.
Yeah, that was a theatrical. Yeah, that was a theatrical. I had, hey man, that was my debut as an actor.
Okay.
I'm the guy on that orange top that you see as the camera is approaching the stage. The last guy that you see, you just see his shoulder, and that's me.
That's and the Oscar goes to
yeah. I got
that shoulder.
I gotta have that discussion with Indigo at one point. I got a grief on why is it that I didn't get no camera time, like no FaceTime.
Well, I wasn't in it either, so.
Yeah, but no, it was definitely my debut. But I did the behind the scenes on that video shoot. As a matter of fact, I believe I still have some of that footage too. No, definitely good video. So let's go into Search My Heart.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go into Search My Heart by Indigo right here on Diaspora Central with Gil Ingles and my guest Tyra, the pen, the director, the everything that is good, McKenzie.
Search my heart, if you find anything I like you, take it away, 'cause I don't need it, so do your will. Lord, search my heart, find anything I like you, take it away, 'cause I don't need it, I just want to do your will. Let me not sit around wasting time talking about, 'cause if it ain't the good news I'm spreading,
And we are back. If you have just joined us, you are now tuned into Diaspora Central with Gil Ingles and my guest, Tyra McKinzie. Tyra, Search My Heart. Tell us a little bit about that song.
Okay, well, that song was a song that I actually wrote to a track of my friend Jared, Young Boy Anderson.
Yeah.
He was an up-and-coming producer at the time. And he and I just clicked musically. I mean, this guy is like, his talent is mind-blowing, like some of the ideas that he would come up with. But anyway, I initially thought I was going to take a stab at trying to be a singer myself.
Right.
Actually make an album.
Yeah.
And I was just like, But at that time, Jocelyn was actually transitioning from being in an R&B girl group.
Yeah.
And she wanted to start, doing gospel. And so I said, hey, I got these songs that I've written. And so we just kind of got in the studio and just like started just knocking out songs. And that was the one that she wanted to be her single.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, that's how that song came to.
Oh no, definitely another one of those true songs. I have two songs of her on my playlist.
My headphones are lopsided. There we go.
Yeah. On one of them, I just remembered the number on the CD. I don't even remember the title of the song. I think I'm Falling.
Fallen, yes.
Fallen.
That was a wedding song that I wrote with.
Oh, you wrote Fallen?
Yes.
Wow, you also wrote Fallen. Gracious.
Yeah, that was a wedding song that I started writing it, and then I told her about the song, and she helped me complete the process. And then her and Tex, Jerry Franklin actually recorded it together as a duet, and they did a great job. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I can't remember who the producer was. I think it may have been, actually, it was Bam, Dwayne Staten.
Oh,
I think
Bam
Dwayne Staten,
did that.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Dwayne Staten did that track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, nice. Nice. No, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. But let's go into what's up and coming with Tyra. What could we expect from Tyra in the next few?
Well, I am in the process of, I'm doing a little bit more photography until I can get out and actually make more films.
Okay.
But I am also, excuse me, I'm also in the process of actually writing another wedding song that just kind of fell into my lap. I heard this music and I was like, So I started writing a wedding song. It's called I Choose You.
Oh, okay.
And I'll keep it a little secret until things are, you can check out a snippet of it on my Instagram. But as far as, who's going to be recording it and things like that, I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. Okay. So can we at least know, is it going to be a male or a female?
It's gonna be both.
Both. Oh.
It's gonna be another duet.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
It's gonna
nice.
be another duet. So I'm excited about it. I just need to finish writing it.
But you already know who they are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Now you just messed up my concentration because now I'm concerned about who they're gonna be.
I keep you posted.
Yeah, I appreciate
you won't,
that.
You won't be disappointed. I think it's gonna be a good one.
No, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Now let's talk a little bit on when it comes to inspiration of younger women, and especially, and I say women or younger individuals, not just women, but especially women, because you being a woman, it becomes important to have that representation. The power of influence, of course, it's undeniably one of those things that needs to exist in the community. Anything that you have in mind that should be done probably a bit more in order to assist younger women when it comes to art and life in our community?
I mean, absolutely. You had spoke earlier about me being, one of the first female bass players that you had ever met. I think now, culturally wise, and women are definitely out here killing it. I'm seeing a lot of up and coming bass players and drummers even. But I would just say that even like producers, back in the day, it was just such a male-driven, category where most of the producers, were all guys. So I would definitely say if you have a little daughter and she's about that, that drum life or that bass life or making a beat, let her do it and encourage her. Get her what she needs to become better at it, because that push or that belief or that encouragement, especially from a male, perspective, coming from a male perspective, it does encourage you. It does boost you. It does make you feel, good about yourself. But if you're around a bunch of guys who feel intimidated by your gifts, then you're not going to feel comfortable. You're not going to thrive, or you're not going to learn as much as you could. So I would just definitely say, you got
that support team.
I know Beyonce is a big influence with a lot of young adults, but there are a lot of other, women out here who've been doing it long before her. I mean, they may not reach that level of status like Sheila E., what I'm saying? Michelle Ndegeocello.
Indeed.
So many different, amazing musicians, and, singers and songwriters. So
indeed.
Just, just encourage the young ladies to pick up an instrument. Keep your clothes on, you don't have to. I know there was some talk. I didn't watch the Grammys because I don't have regular TV, but I saw the feeds. I saw the feeds, and what I was seeing a lot of was, man, why is everybody naked? So I mean, no judgment, but hey, it's just like, is this what we need to do to get noticed?
I think we may just be going back to biblical times where no more clothes necessary.
I don't know, but I did see a lot of people complaining about or making comments about the fact that a lot of the women were very scantily clad. Wow. So
definitely times changing. Times changing. But one of the cool things is also that you are actually one of those individuals that is not only done. I mean, you do secular music, you do socially conscious music, you do gospel music. Which one of the genres is really the one that captures your soul?
I would have to say, really, I mean, I love gospel music, even if I didn't write it. There's something about gospel music that depending on what kind of day you're having, if you're having one of those days where you're just like, you know what, deuces, I'm out. You put on the right gospel song will just get you all the way together. But for me, I think a combination of all of it, because sometimes even when I'm having a rough day, I don't necessarily want to hear a gospel song.
Right.
I may listen to a song that's inspiring, especially like even the new guy, Justin Bieber, he had a lot of issues when he first started.
Right.
But I'm noticing that a lot of his songs now, if you listen to them, they're very encouraging.
He's showing growth.
They're very showing a lot,
showing
so
growth.
but there's so many young artists that are, I was like, man, these kids have been through some stuff. So for me, it just depends on, I mean, all of it helps me, all of it inspires me. So.
Definitely. Now let's go.
I can't. Okay.
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
I was going to say I can't necessarily pick one particular genre of music because I mean I love country music. I mean,
indeed.
Chris Stapleton and Dierks Bentley, Cole Swindell, Carrie Underwood. Those artists are amazing.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's definitely cool, and it is important for you to be a music producer. You gotta have a taste of just about everything and find good in all these genres, right? Now, one of the questions that I wanted to ask is if there was a social cause that you would consider to be yours, what would that be?
I would have to say a social cause that I would want to push.
Yeah.
I mean, there are many.
Okay.
But for me, I would have to.
You can give us all.
Yeah. I would just say inclusion. I mean, I know a lot of people are, when you speak about the LGBTQ community, there's like all of this uproar and, especially from Christian standpoint,
Yeah.
people, I feel like Christians can be really mean,
Okay.
and judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
So I think people need to put themselves in a place of compassion when they're dealing with something that they don't necessarily understand or agree with.
Right.
You know, so I would say definitely I would just say to be more understanding, at
Right.
least, you know, to try to be a little bit more understanding and compassionate about, and also like child trafficking. There's, I mean, that is something that, like, what's happening with these young girls,
right.
you know,
right.
They're disappearing and you never hear from them again. So something's happening. I mean, I could go on. I mean, all the African Americans that are being murdered, or people of color. There's so many different causes that I could really, you know, speak about.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and go back into for instance, the fear of I believe that sometimes people tend to reject things that they don't understand simply because they don't understand, right? It can become very complicated, right?
Yes.
And a lot of times it even comes from the place in which, when someone is so used to being hit all the time, the first time someone will actually raise their hand to try to caress your face, you automatically think that this person is trying to hit you, and you kind of flinch. But and I think that sometimes religion or Christianity can do those kind of situations, can create those kind of situations, because they sort of feel like there are people who actually, in my opinion, believe that they have the sacredcy of determining what religion is, and they completely forget that forgiveness is the base of Christianity, right off the bottom, right? And I think that if people just came to a point where they actually understood that the base of Christianity is forgiveness, then understanding would definitely come into place, and then fear would no longer be a problem, because I really think that a lot of those acts are done out of fear, out of misunderstanding, right? Not trying to be proven wrong.
Right.
Yeah. Now, let's go ahead and get your social media out, all the things that really matter. How can people get in touch with you? All the shout outs that really matter, you know.
Okay, well, I can be reached on my Instagram at Second Child 7 Rights, which is 2ND. Child, the number 7, WRITES, Second Child 7 Rights.
Okay.
And I can also be reached on Twitter at that same handle, Second Child 7 Rights. And then on my Facebook page, I can be reached at my actual name. It's Tyra, and Second Child is spelled out because Facebook won't let me be great. So it's my name, Tyra, Second Child Rights McKinzie on Facebook.
Gotcha. You know, definitely a good thing. And before I let you go, I gotta ask you one more question, and that is of course, as a writer, there's a process that you go to become a writer. And very briefly, I kind of just want you to describe that process so that our audience can understand, right? You don't just get up, write a song, put the song out, and call yourself a writer. There's actually a process that you have to go through to ensure that, one, you getting recognized for that song, two, you have the potential of getting paid for that song. Can you very briefly go through that process and explain to our audience exactly what the process is and how they can achieve that?
So you're saying, like, as far as how am I inspired to write a song, or
no, actually, how you secure your check?
Okay, yes.
Yeah. In the process of ensuring that you are a writer.
It's always So it's always a good idea to be a member of either ASCAP or CSAC or BMI, one of the music publishing companies. That's always a great thing to do, because a lot of times people write songs, and if somebody puts a song out that you've written and there's no way to keep track of how many times that song has been played, there's money that's just out there waiting for you that you're not making, because guess what? You haven't joined any organization to be able to keep track of that money for you. Right. And then sometimes people get an administrator to handle that. It's also good to have like a lawyer, if you're able to, or manager, people who are well-versed and have, are knowledgeable of what, ways to protect their songwriter as, somebody that their client pretty much. So making sure your stuff is copyright, do the copyrights for your stuff. It's a little different now with the Library of Congress, because you actually can, when I first did the copyrights for my first song, I think I paid like $15.
Yeah.
Man, I did the copyrights for a song about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
For one song, it was like $45.
Yeah. What they
but
did is,
hey, to protect yourself,
Indeed.
Even though I've heard some lawyers say now that you don't necessarily have to do that anymore, but for me, it's just you can do it as a package deal,
right?
You don't have to copyright one song at a time. But,
indeed, yeah, because basically what happens, even when you did at the time when it was $15, it was basically you could do one song or you could do a collection, of them for that amount of right. And today it's basically still the same, but the price is definitely going up.
Yeah, definitely gone up.
Yeah, so basically the takeaways here would be to ensure that you get your copyrights, ensure that you join some sort of a publishing organization that can track your money for you, and
fill out when you're working with producers or whatever, we call it a split sheet.
Right. Make
sure that you fill that split sheet out so you're clear as to who gets what. Right. I mean, most of the time when I'm working with producers and songwriters, we pretty much split everything down the middle. Right. Nobody's going to say, "Oh, well, you wrote 2 lines here," and nobody has time for all of that. Yeah. So, but that's something else that's very important, so that when things do pop off, you'll have in writing, okay, well, this is what we agreed upon. So yeah, that's a very important piece of it too.
So that way there are no hard feelings at all.
Yeah.
Tara, it's been a great pleasure, and you gotta make me one promise that you will eventually be back to this program.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, great pleasure. Great pleasure.
Question.
Yeah, great pleasure and great seeing you. Listen, it's been very, very real. And to our audience, thank you for joining us. And remember one thing, perseverance is actually what drives you. Don't mind all the other stuff that people talk about. They don't pay bills. Get yourself a publishing company. Write what you gotta write, copyright it, and hopefully you make a few bucks out of it. I'm just reiterating what Tyra McKinzie has told us in this hour. Tyra.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Can I just say one last thing?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
This is something that I had to do a presentation for my one of my classes. And the quote that I left my classmates with is, when people think about you, how does it make them feel? Do they laugh? Do they smile? Do they have something positive to say, or do they have something negative to say? Remember that always. When people think about when your name is spoken, how do people react when your name is spoken? Pretty much is what I'm saying.
Indeed. Yeah, definitely appreciate that, and very good tip. You know what? So to all my haters out there, I'm just kidding. Listen,
their hearts are just in the wrong place. The letters are mixed up.
Yeah, that's all that is. But anyway, as we all know, I mean, at the end of the day, it's about influencing and influencing the right way. Correct?
Correct.
Thank you, Tyra, for joining us. Until next time, peace.